Nicholas.
Hello, Tyson.
What's happening?
Oh, Tyson, it's brisk.
It is a brisk Melbourne evening. We are chilly as fuck.
It is cold.
It is so cold, and we appreciate you joining in.
Thank you.
With us to listen to us rant and rave about movies on Tys and Videotape.
On your wireless?
On your wireless, exactly. Sitting around an open fire with a hot cup of tea.
Or something a lot stiffer.
Or something a bit stiffer. To discuss a very exciting movie.
Django.
Yeah.
Django Unchained.
Django Unchained.
Our first dip into the Quentin barrel.
It is. A little bit nervous about that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's... Are we going to do it justice?
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But, of course, it is very exciting times because we're about to have a new Quentin Tarantino movie here in Australia. We're a couple of weeks behind. I think it's come out in the States.
It has, yeah.
We'll be getting that in about a week or so, and I'm very excited.
I am. I will be at the Astor, as will yourself.
Yes, I haven't booked my tickets yet. Apparently, they're selling fast. But
are you serious?
They're doing 2 weeks worth, so hopefully I can find time to get in there at some point. Surely. But yes, very exciting on Tys and Videotape. Nick, going to tell people where they can find our show.
Oh, hey gang! Thanks for joining in. You can find us where you find all other podcasts, but iTunes is the main one because iTunes you can write, share, review. Review is the good one. Subscribe is a good one. But if you do it on iTunes or iTunes Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, sorry, it helps our algorithm.
It does indeed.
If you are so inclined, please do so on there or any podcast. To be honest, it'll help us a bunch.
That's it. Nice little review writing. It would go down a treat.
It would go down a treat. Other than that, we're all on the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, YouTube. And Tys and myself are very much big fans of the Letterboxd app. Letterboxd is it's not really it's a social it's a way to see what your friends are. I guess it's a social media app, isn't it?
I'd call it the social media app for movie
lovers. Yeah, without the ads. No ads. But yeah, you can jump on there and follow Tys and myself. And find out what we're watching.
Yeah, that's it.
I've put up one list. Have you done any lists?
Oh, no, I haven't done any lists.
Yeah. So my list is what I did was went through all the movies that were Oscar nominated or won an Oscar for Best Picture, and just highlighted the ones I haven't watched yet.
Very good.
Going back way back when.
Wow.
Yeah. But yes, to follow Tys and myself, Tys is Tys TYS_videotape, and I'm Nick _videotape.
That's
NIC.
it.
Yeah.
Lists that I'm sure to be curating at some point will be the
what will be your list?
Van Damme as a double.
Oh, nice. Van Damme as a double.
And also Silly Runs.
Silly Runs, which we've talked about a lot.
I think that will make an appearance as a list on Letterboxd as well.
One comes to mind. Give me one that comes to mind.
Robin Tunney in The Craft.
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. When she's carrying the bag, she's got a bag. And, oh, she looks terrible.
So that I'm sure that'll get quite a lot of traction when that list is finally completed.
That will.
Nicholas.
Tys.
We got some exciting trailers to talk about.
Good Lord. Okay, yes. What are we doing?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Everybody's talking trailers. All right.
Okay.
So, we've got a couple of high-profile films to discuss today.
That's true.
Big, possible Oscar-winning films, I would think.
It's getting to that, isn't it, now?
We are kind of getting to that point.
We're getting to that point.
We're getting to the prestige picks.
Fast.
This year has gone so fast. I feel like it was just yesterday we were talking about Oscars
It's like we literally just had the Oscars. Come on.
Yes, and so we'll talk first about the one that's actually we'll be able to watch in the comfort of our own home.
Oh, sure.
The Netflix original.
Go on.
The Irishman.
The Irishman.
Hello? Hey, my friend. I got that kid I was talking to you about here. I'm going to put him on the phone and let you talk to him, okay?
Hello?
Is that Frank?
Yes.
Hi, Frank. This is Jimmy Hoffa.
Glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you, too, even if it's over the phone. Our friend speaks very highly of you.
Thank you.
Only 3 people in the world have one of these. And only one of them is Irish.
I heard you paint houses.
No, please. No, wait.
Yes, I do, sir.
Where are you going?
Going to work.
Well, you know, there's a situation going on now, Frank. Big business and the government, they're trying to pull us down.
you might be demonstrating a failure to show appreciation.
I know things they don't know I know.
You can't miss the big picture.
Sooner or later. Get the gun out of his hand! Everybody put here as a date when he's gonna go.
Do you want to be a part of this fight? Would you like to be a part of this history?
Yes, I would. Whatever you need me to do, I'm available.
He likes to talk, don't he?
Nick, this is incredibly exciting.
I'm very excited for this. I'm more excited for this than I would be of Wolf of Wall Street, I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is... You're getting... so, Irishman, for those who don't know, it's Martin Scorsese's next film.
It is?
He's had it in the works for a while. He's wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah.
And he's just waiting for all the stars to align. His stars being that of Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci.
That's it. We're getting the dream team back.
We are.
From
Goodfellas.
Hang on. No, Pacino was in
Goodfellas.
We're getting De Niro and Pesci back, obviously. Casino, Goodfellas, and the addition of Pacino, which I don't think... Has Pacino done a Scorsese film?
I don't think he has.
Off the top of my head, I don't think
People
so.
are yelling down at us.
They are yelling. There's something super obvious.
Let's calm down. I don't think he has. Stand up, guys.
Somehow, I don't think that was
Ocean's 13.
No, I don't think Scorsese was all over that thing. But I mean, this is as exciting as
this is insane.
The day we found out about Heat, when it was like, oh, De Niro and Pacino are actually going to get to do something together. Will actually share screen time as opposed to Godfather Part 2, where they're in the same movie, but obviously not sharing any screen time.
That scene was so. That scene was so good.
Oh, in Heat, it's fantastic.
Love that scene.
Look, Heat is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And the less we say about that Righteous Kill movie, the better.
I watched it. I watched the hell out of it.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, very good. So I think this is something to be very excited about, especially Joe Pesci being back in front of a camera.
He's taking a break. He's taking a big break. And now he's coming back.
I forget just how much I love seeing him on screen. And even just in that small little bit of that trailer, I was like, oh, man, Pesci, where you been, buddy? Where you been?
He took a break. Said, I've got enough for a while.
Yeah. And look, he's getting on a little bit.
Yeah,
he's
out of all of them, out of all three of them, he's the one that's, looking a little worse for the wear. Well, he's looking aged. He
looks his age.
Exactly.
It appears to be a sprawling gangster epic.
It does.
Obviously, very much in the vein of Goodfellas.
Godfellas.
That's me combining Godfather and Goodfellas into one movie. Which, I think... If we said what kind of movie do we want Scorsese to make, again, I think we'd all kind of... The most popular answer would be make another crime epic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And he did, that's what Wolf of Wall Street was. It's just, it was a different type.
Essentially,
it was a white-collar crime.
Exactly. And it felt very similar to those movies in the sense that it was... It felt so big, the storytelling. Like, it really... You sit down to watch Wolf of Wall Street and you feel like you're taken on this massive ride. Covers so much time and so many little small stories that appear through that. It feels very similar to Casino, Goodfellas in that way.
100%.
So it's exciting to have him back doing this.
I can't wait for this. I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised Netflix original that he decided to go the way the Netflix. Do you think that it was maybe, I don't know, maybe he doesn't think he was going to get the pull at the cinema? As if people aren't going out to see this movie though.
I think because I think anyone would be able to say, no, you could make this theatrical and people will go to it for sure.
Yeah.
I think Scorsese seems to be the kind of guy that's interested in the advancements of cinema.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he tries to kind of always be up with the latest trends, and as a filmmaker, he's constantly evolving. Yeah. And so I think more than anything, it might have just been an experience for him to say, oh, well, this is this is where movies are heading. How does one go about making a movie in that environment?
Yeah.
And,
or maybe he's not getting as much red tape as he would with Netflix,
sure.
you know. But
Like-
then again, who's holding up stop signs when Martin Scorsese is behind the camera?
well, I mean, maybe 10 years ago nobody was, but in this particular climate, maybe he did struggle to find a studio that wanted to back him for one of his kind of films. Maybe they wanted him to do a fucking superhero movie.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
Or just another Hugo or something like that. Give us some 3D,
exactly.
give us some kids, give us something
That's
looking
it.
like you're not going to see posters for The Irishman on the sides of buses and billboards.
No, probably not.
You're not going to see that.
Having said that, it is having a small cinema release so that it can qualify for. I would assume it's so that it can qualify for Oscar consideration.
Yeah.
We probably won't get that here, I wouldn't think.
Maybe 1 or 2 cinemas?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I assume we'll just be able to watch it, from the comfort of our own home.
Lovely.
What do you think of the de-aging effects?
I think that, well, from what I've seen, hey, they're pretty spot on.
They're not bad.
It looks pretty good.
De Niro has there's a shot towards the end of the trailer where it pans around in front of him and we see him maybe what he looked like
15 years younger.
Well, it's kind of Goodfellas era.
It is,
De Niro in that shot.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It looks good, but he's very still.
It has a little bit of the X-Men Last Stands about it. A little bit rubbery
No
faced.
way, it's not that bad.
No, I know it's not that bad, but it's not quite. Like when I watch, like the Marvel movies, like Guardians 2 and Endgame, for instance. Michael Douglas and Kurt Russell, in those de-aging elements.
Yeah.
I could swear I'm looking at.
Really? You think they're that good?
From that generation, the older generation of them. This one, you can just see these elements where it's like, I know I'm looking at someone being de-aged.
Yeah. I think Michael Douglas, remember Michael Douglas in Endgame? Just that little section?
I loved that.
You love that?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a little off.
Oh, you felt that?
Yeah, just a little off.
It's funny how the good old uncanny valley kind of can knock people in different directions. Like sometimes people are like, no, I didn't feel a thing, and other people are like,
I know what you're talking about.
something
Bullshit.
weird with their eyeballs, man.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I didn't realize it was to do with like Jimmy Hoffa either.
Very a bit political, a bit more political.
Yeah, and looks to be that there's going to be influence on the Kennedy assassination in some degree, which
was Hoffa before or after?
Well,
Kennedy?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I wasn't aware that they were related in any sense. I didn't think there was ever any kind of like suspicion that Hoffa was involved.
Exactly.
So.
And I know, if I know my American history correct, it was when JFK died, it was Lyndon Johnson who was vice president, so he had to step up to the plate.
That's correct.
Hence the Woody Harrelson is it LBJ?
Yes.
Is that what the movie's called? Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
what that movie's about. Him having to step up to the plate so quickly with a country like going, well, we're fucked.
Yeah. So that's it's unexpected but cool. Like man. Bring it on. There's some great looking shots in it. There's some classic kind of Scorsese violence.
Yep. Streets and guns.
But it honestly looks like it's just set in the same world as
Goodfellas or Casino. Yeah, it really does.
Which, what else do we expect? Like, it's what he does best and what he does so naturally.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how, you can just watch segments of this film and feel like you could watch them back to back and feel like they're like a complete whole, maybe.
100%.
But we'll see once we see the movie, obviously.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm very excited about this. Nick, I'm pretty sure that it goes without saying we'll be watching this
Day one.
as soon as it's available on Netflix.
Day one.
I'm going to snuggle up in my bed with the giant television and
watch some Irishman.
Watch some de-aged De Niro shooting skulls.
Exactly. Who is, apart from the three, have we got some other... Oh, we've got Harvey Keitel. We've got Jesse Plemons. Bobby, is it Cannavale?
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah.
I think he is great. I can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah, for sure. He's great.
Any other Scorsese alum?
Oh, I'm sure that all the goons and stuff will be his regular friends of his mum. Like people, he used to grab people off from Brooklyn and from Queens that he knew that his mum and friends with, along? And it's like, come and be the goons in my movies.
Yeah, because the only other actress that I know was it Anna Paquin that was in the...
Anna Paquin appears to be the wife of De Niro?
Yeah. Obviously, in the young de-aging of De Niro.
And so maybe they're going to age her up later in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe she's not around later in the movie.
The Irishman.
That's it.
Bring it on.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Next, Nicholas.
What are we doing?
We're going to talk about 1917. Not the year, the movie.
You have a brother in the 2nd Battalion.
Yes, sir. Is he alive?
And with your help, I'd like to keep it that way. But they're walking into a trap. Your orders are to deliver a message calling off tomorrow morning's attack. If you don't, we will lose 1,600 men. Your brother among them.
There's only one way this war ends. Last man standing.
What the hell are you doing, Lance Corporal? No! No! No!
If you fail, it will be a massacre.
I couldn't.
1917.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was good. It was a good year.
Good one.
So we have Sam Mendes back.
Where has Sam Mendes been?
Well, I was trying to think of his last
Skyfall?
movie. It surely wasn't Skyfall.
Come on, really?
He must have done something since then. Did he? Oh, he did Spectre, and nobody liked Spectre.
Yeah, but that doesn't fucking count.
So
Nobody
actually,
likes
no. I
Spectre.
think Spectre was the last thing. I think
Yeah.
he
And-
stepped away from it a little
to
bit
be
because
honest,
Spectre was not.
fair enough.
Yeah, it wasn't received very well. So he gave himself a little bit of room to develop something else.
It was, yeah. It was Skyfall 2012, Spectre 2015, and then a break. But then again, he's a man that takes breaks. Like
He does. He's not. Yeah, he's not producing a movie every year.
He's not punching them out.
No.
Of course not. But yeah, 2015, Spectre was.
So yeah, so pre-Skyfall, then was it like Revolutionary Road? Was that the last one?
It was.
Before.
It's Away We Go. It looks like an art house. Do you remember Away We Go?
Yeah.
You know that cover when you see it.
Yeah, I remember it.
That one? Yeah.
So it's probably been almost 10 years
yeah.
since he's done a non-Bond movie.
A non-Bond, yeah.
So I'm excited to see what he comes up with. We have what is a World War I story about these soldiers who are tasked with the mission of informing a battalion not to carry through with their attack
mission.
because
Yep.
they believe it's a trap and they will get slaugred.
Yeah. And that's literally it. That's what we got from the trailer.
That's
and
it.
I like that.
Yeah.
A basic...
I think that's all we need to know, really.
Exactly.
It's going to be high tension. It's going to feel like we're racing against the clock.
Yep.
The trailer, mentions time quite a lot. We have the ticking in the background.
Yep.
We've got the tagline that time is your enemy. And,
Yep.
So I think it feels like it's going to be like a chase movie almost, like a run against the clock to get this information.
To get this information done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did it so well with the ticking, like throughout the trailer, having the numbers of the year, obviously, it's 1917? Yeah, coming up. Because those numbers represent time in itself, not only that with the year, but also the shot and how you had... what was the actor that was the main actor who was the brother that's trying to help out the mission?
I'm not sure. I didn't recognize.
You didn't recognize
the actors,
him?
no.
I know him from something. But yeah, him just running with just chaos.
Oh
just
yeah,
behind him.
Absolutely.
And God, it looks so good.
It does look great.
So good.
Obviously, feels very reminiscent of Dunkirk.
It does.
Even correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall ticking was quite a strong theme through that film as well. Do I remember ticking in that quite a lot?
I don't remember.
Because because time is also quite a heavy thematic choice for that film. The way that he plays with time and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it seems to share similar vibe, I guess.
Yeah. So it was George McKay was who I was thinking of, and I know him from. Have you seen the movie 2014's Pride? About
no.
oh God, that's a good movie.
I've heard it's great. Yeah,
such a good movie. But yeah, I know him from that.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, this looks good.
It does.
This
it
looks
really does.
really good. This looks like kind of a feast for the eyes as well. And I love, like when we first saw it, they were going into some kind of cave, and it was very close quarters and things like that.
Yeah.
And it showed the guns that they were using. And the reason that one of my favorite things, not that you have a favorite thing about war, but World War One, the guns that they used to use used to have clips in the top, so you'd fire them and it'd just go ping off the top, and you have to put it back in. Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm like, it's such a great setting having all of these guys shooting enemies, and you just ping, ping, ping. You know, that it's just
absolutely.
so...
It makes a real visual...
very different time.
Uniqueness.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Look, I used to be quite the fan of Sam Mendes. I think it's kind of dropped off a little bit as time has passed.
Yeah.
I can't really vouch for American Beauty anymore because it's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah.
And
Revolutionary Road.
Well, I can't remember it.
Really? Did you just watch it recently?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Hang
on, no. Wait. I'm thinking of... Let's rewind it back. It's not Revolutionary Road because I haven't seen that either. I'm thinking of Road to Perdition.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes. So Road to Perdition, I still probably would say is his best film.
Yep. Skyfall was good, though.
Skyfall is a great...
Bond?
Yeah. I bet, you know, like I like James Bond, but I've never been like a mad Bond fan. So for me, I remember walking away from Skyfall being like, well, that was pretty great. But never really like... You know, feeling like I'd seen this, you know, masterpiece of spy cinema.
Yeah.
Where Road to Perdition really feels like his most well-rounded, full kind of everything kind of pays off. All the things he's trying to say are there to be said, and they come through. And it's it's heartfelt. It looks fucking amazing. Yeah. So that's the one that sticks out to me as being his kind of his strongest suit. And around that is just some movies that. I don't know. They might still hold up. They might not. I'd be really interested to watch American Beauty again and just see if I feel the same way I did back in 2000.
Because it was such a good movie when it came out.
No, 99, wasn't it?
It was... No, I think wasn't it 2000?
Might have been 2000.
I think it was 2000, 2001.
It'd be really interesting to see if that still resonates at all, really. Considering most of what I hear about it now is that it just feels pretentious.
Yeah. That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, whereas but that might still work. I've said it before, I don't mind pretentiousness as long as it
works.
As long as it works, as long as it achieves what it's setting out to achieve.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretentiousness when there's no goal is so
annoying
and much, much worse. If there's a goal set and they reach it, it's kind of like, well, yeah, you get to be a bit of an artsy wanker if you like.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I thought about. Remember, so the Oscars just passed. What was the Willem Dafoe? Was it Picasso?
He was Van Gogh, wasn't he?
Van Gogh, yeah.
Eternity's Gate.
Which that was just a barrel of wank. Just fuck off. Like, I was watching it going, I see what you're doing, but I'm not buying it. Sorry. I
really enjoyed the description of a barrel of wank.
Just a barrel of wank. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Come on, man.
So
give me something.
Yeah.
Like, no. I just want to set the camera here and we're just going to let it go. I'm like, really? That was your choice. That was what you chose to do? Cool.
We all make choices, Nicholas.
We definitely do. Some are good, some are bad.
Indeed. Look, and this, I reckon this will be around come Oscars time, surely. You get a director like Sam Mendes 100%. Who carries a certain amount of expectation with his films. I think, like... He never gets completely ignored. He's one of those directors that gets the free pass to be considered regardless. It's not one of those movies where you have to fight through all the initial stuff and everyone keeps saying, no, it's actually really good. He kind of gets the leg up. He gets to start halfway through the process.
Yeah.
And so, if it's you know, even comparable to Dunkirk in any way, it's probably going to feature come Oscars time.
100%. Did Dunkirk win anything in the end?
Won some technical awards. Yeah, okay. I think it won both the sound awards.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe editing. Yeah, I'd have to double check.
Yeah.
Dunkirk's a movie I haven't seen since the cinema. I'd love to watch that again.
I wouldn't mind watching that again. I've still got if I'm going to watch a Nolan, I'd rather watch Interstellar. It's literally only been once since the cinema, and I own it. Like,
I should watch that again. Actually.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So I need to watch that.
I could just watch a bunch of his movies. Like, it's Christopher Nolan. He's fucking great.
Yeah. And if you were to get any, like, if someone to say you get to watch one Nolan, as much as I am a massive Batman fan, it would be Memento for me.
Yeah.
Because I still think that is like it's up there. That or either Prestige. Because the Prestige was so good.
Yeah, I liked Prestige a lot more this time we watched it.
Yeah.
No, my Nolan go-to is definitely Dark Knight.
Dark Knight?
Yeah, it'd be hard to go past it.
It is hard.
Only because I equally like Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises. But I feel like Dark Knight, it's long. There's heaps going on in it.
Yeah. It's so good.
And it's so incredibly rewatchable, even... despite how long it is and how fucking taxing it is to watch it.
You don't feel it.
I feel like you physically feel it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's exhausting, but in a great way.
Yeah.
Very good.
Heath Ledger, man. Shit.
Yeah.
When are we going to do that movie?
Soon.
Oof.
Soon. We're getting to the biggins now.
We're getting to the biggins now. Well, speaking of biggins.
Do we move on?
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Django Unchained. Let's hear it.
And now for our feature presentation.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
Good cold evening, gentlemen. Amongst your inventory, I've been led to believe is a specimen I'm keen to acquire.
When I hear that trumpet sound,
What's your name?
I'm gonna rise right out of the ground.
Django. Then you're exactly the one I'm looking for.
Hey, stop talking to him.
Calm down. I'm simply a customer trying to conduct a transaction.
Last chance, fancy pants.
Oh, very well.
Do you know what a bounty hunter is? You kill people, and they give you a reward.
Better they are, bigger the reward. I need your help. I'm looking for the Brittle Brothers. However, I don't know what they look like, but you do. Don't you?
They caught my wife, and they sold her, but I don't know who to.
That means we visit every plantation until we find them. Once a final Brittle Brother lies dead in the dust, I agree to give you your freedom, and I'll take you to rescue your wife.
Where are we going?
Yes!
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
How do you like the bounty hunting business?
Kill white folks and they pay you for it? What's not to like? I like the way you die, boy.
He is a rambunctious sword, ain't he?
What's your name?
Django.
The D is silent.
Yes, well, Nicholas.
Okay.
I'm a little bit, I'm nervous.
Are you all right?
I'm feeling a little kind of overwhelmed.
Have a little sip of your drink.
Oh, thank you
That's
kindly.
all right. Well, so Quentin, the closeness that we've touched to Quentin when we first did this podcast is From Dusk Till Dawn. We spoke a little bit.
Oh, yes, and he
featured quite a bit.
He
in that.
did. He wrote it and starred in it.
Yep.
Co-starred. This is our first touch on an actual, like, one of Quentin Tarantino's actual films. So he's directed films that, are part of his, the 9 fills that he has now directed.
Yep, the 9. And there's rumours that he's going to finish after the 9. I'm like, fuck off, no.
No, he can't. What would he do? What would he do? I mean,
He'd go insane.
Yeah. There's still rumours of him doing, like, a Star Trek movie, which should be wild.
I think they're rumours.
Yeah. So we're starting with Django Unchained. An interesting point to start. I don't think many people would start with this film.
I don't think anyone would.
But this is true to brand for us. We tend to kind of just throw ourselves right in the middle.
That's right.
Whenever we open any of these franchises or talk about prolific directors.
100%.
We're going to 2012.
12, yeah.
Django Unchained.
Yeah.
A movie that I had only seen the one time before this watch.
Yeah.
It was, I watched it in the cinemas.
Third, I think. Yep.
Watched it around Oscar time in order to catch up on it as well.
That's right.
Because I think we got it relatively late in the cinemas, I believe.
When I was trying to do my kind of getting through all my year that I've missed. I was able to still see it at a cinema. I'm fairly certain. Well done.
That seems to add up in my head.
Yeah.
I have a really terrible memory of when and where I saw movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know when like people can just be like, oh, I saw it at this cinema, I saw it at this cinema.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at that.
That's because...
No idea.
Unless
it's a terrible cinema experience, in which case I remember it well.
Unless you know it. Yeah, back to it, I used to be very good. And it's not until probably the last 6 years that I couldn't tell you.
Sure.
Because there'll be moments where me and Sam will be watching a movie and I'll go, Jesus, this is good. We saw this in the cinema, didn't we? And she's like, yeah. Or I'll be watching it and I'll be like, damn, we should have seen this in cinema. She was like, we did. And I'm like, what?
I'm better now than I was.
Yeah.
Like I'd say from about 2014 onwards, I'm not too shabby. But prior to that, no idea.
I could tell you the cinema, the seat, and who I was with when I saw Waterworld at the cinema.
That's impressive.
I was at Rosebud Cinema.
Yes.
We were up the back, second from the back.
Yep.
I was with my friend Neil Bassett. Neil,
what's up, Neil?
What's up?
Very good. So we're starting with Django.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worthwhile having a little bit of discussion about how we feel about Tarantino.
Sure. Well,
before we get kind of into the specifics about this film.
Yeah. Well, it's and that's the thing. Like this is it's a can of worms that we're opening here because the movie starts off a Weinstein production, and you're like, okay. You know.
Yeah, look, his relationship with the Weinsteins all through a really long career is problematic, and we're unfortunately, I hate that word, but it's fitting for this, and
it is. Yeah.
I think it's sad that every time now we go to watch a Tarantino film, the first thing we're going to see is either a Miramax,
yep,
for the 90s up to about mid-2000s.
Yeah.
And then, the Weinstein Company from there.
Wasn't the last Miramax Kill Bill and everything after that?
I feel like Kill Bill was a Miramax, yeah.
Kill Bill, man. Damn.
Yeah, so good. So that's kind of it dampens it a little bit. I don't know. I feel like he's a bit of a polarizing figure, Tarantino. I mean, he comes out in interviews and sometimes it's like, oh, man, no, that's... you gotta get with the program, man.
Really?
And other times he seems really...
He's on
top
money.
of it and on board and really kind of... has the kind of progressive views, and so it's we're all changing and everything, and we're all learning, 100%. But stuff like that. I feel like he's a bit of a poster child for both causes. I think there are some people that would be like, no, I don't watch his movies because he's a scumbag, and there's other people that are like, no, he's actually really
he knows what he's talking
he's
about,
forward thinking, and he's trying to deal with these issues in a progressive way.
He's got his finger on the pulse, and he's doing this for a reason.
So it's the very definition of a polarizing figure.
Yeah.
What I think can't be denied is he's probably one of the best filmmakers currently working.
That's true. Yep.
He'd be easily in my top 5 directors.
Easily.
There isn't a single film of his
that you haven't seen
that I don't like.
That you don't like.
Aside from
I have one.
I don't mind Death Proof, but I don't love it.
That's right. And mine is Jackie Brown.
Yeah, which I have never seen all the way through.
Whoa! Yeah. Well, you can't count them all, Tyson.
No, that's the thing.
Oh, the ones that you've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, the ones you've seen. All right. I own Jackie Brown, and I try. No, you got to give the other one back first.
What else have I got of yours?
You got Kroll, man.
Oh, I do have Kroll.
Give my Kroll.
You'll get Kroll. Kroll's on one of the streamings now.
Yeah, man. I saw Kroll Blu-ray in JB.
Nice.
I was like, oh, I would buy that, but the cover looks so shit.
Does it really?
Yeah.
What a shame.
It's
doesn't have that
killer.
giant mountain face.
Exactly.
That's the best thing
That's
ever.
what you want, man.
Or I'd take one that just has the blade.
Oh, hell yeah. The glaive.
The glaive.
That's it. Which rocked up, by the way, in Ready Player One.
Oh,
the glaive rocked up in Ready Player One at the very end, and I was like, cool. Kroll! Yeah, it was huge. And my wife was like, man, get Kroll off Tyson. I want to see Kroll again.
Yeah,
I was like, fair.
I will return Kroll. That's fair call.
It's all right. He's had it literally. I think it was like
it's been like 2.5 years.
10th episode.
It's been a while. For sure.
Watch it. It's gold. I don't want it back until you watch it. What are we talking about?
Well, and then in that case, Nick, if we were to kind of do a ranking of Tarantino, just roughly, where would you place Django?
Shit, it's up there, but it's not my fave. But I like it. Geez, that's hard.
It is hard. I was thinking about that as well.
Pulp Fiction is overdone, and I've watched it to death.
Yeah,
I'm done with.
I get what you're saying.
I'm done with Pulp Fiction. It's still great. Don't get me wrong, but it's knocked down a few notches for me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Kill Bill is at the top for me.
Yeah, Kill Bill might be mine too.
Yeah.
Even though I've never seen it as it's intended.
No, man. Why don't we get the whole bloody affair?
Yeah.
Where can we get that? I want that.
Know. But I feel like if I consider them one film, if I had to divide them, it's Kill Bill 2 for me. We've talked about this before.
It's one for me.
And maybe a few other Tarantinos would sneak above one. in my listing.
Sure.
But combined as one film, like one kind of experience, it is definitely my favourite Tarantino.
Right. I need to watch Hateful Eight again. I've literally only seen it once.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's tough.
I love
it?
dogs. I think Reservoir Dogs is kind of my silent fave.
Reservoir Dogs is a great film, but I feel that way about the way about you feel about Pulp Fiction about Reservoir Dogs. I think I've seen it enough in my life.
Yeah.
I might watch it every now and then just to kind of refresh. But for me, I'm much more interested in where he's gone since there.
Yeah.
I think that's just there's the beginnings of a wonderful filmmaker in that movie.
Yeah.
But I think I'm
100%.
okay with
100%.
I'll watch it every now and then to catch up, but it would be pretty rare.
So it's probably like we're looking at where do Inglourious Bastards, Django, and Hateful Eight sit?
They all sit pretty high because they all just keep. This is the thing. When I was looking at my rating of it, my initial rating of it was kind of low of Django.
Of Django?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's really harsh. I gave it like a 3.5.
Oh, whoa!
And I was like, that's pretty harsh.
That's a shit
the funny
film.
thing is, I think Tarantino exists in this kind of side world where
well, he's on his own plane. Man.
He's like if any other filmmaker or any lesser filmmaker came out with a Django, right, it would be heralded as this amazing achievement for this director.
Sure.
I feel like for Tarantino though, he's playing in the A leagues when everyone else is reserves.
Yeah.
Like he has set himself such a high standard.
Yeah.
And we expect so much of him because of the standard that he's set. When a movie like Django, which I still think is fucking great, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
and upon this rewatch, I think is much better than I initially thought.
Yeah, yeah.
I still think that I'm a bit harsher with him because he is
you know
good.
he is so good. Yeah, 100%.
And so when something
100%.
doesn't quite work for me,
you're like, why didn't that work?
I'm like,
what's going on? Because you know that he's the type of director to mull over absolutely every single word.
100%.
He's in there, and you can tell by interviews. He goes, no. It is written the way that it is written. It is written like that on purpose.
Yeah.
You're going to say the lines. We're going to move from A to B, and we're going to shoot that scene.
Yeah.
He has thought of everything. So when it does hit a bung note, you're like, what's going on there?
And you don't even know. Maybe it's not a bung note. Like, that's it. Maybe you're watching something, you're like, why didn't that work for me?
Yeah,
because
right.
maybe it's very deliberately shaped that way.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, we end up giving him the benefit of the doubt so much as well because of the vast knowledge that he has.
Yeah.
He is far more knowledgeable about these films than I will ever be in my lifetime.
100%.
So when something maybe doesn't work for me, I'm also then have to sit back and go, well, was he paying homage to a particular director with that interchange?
Yeah.
And so maybe if I was aware of what he was paying homage to, I'd find more out in it. You know what I mean?
Is there something that he's referencing that I don't know?
I'm going to sneeze.
All right, you do that. I'm going to grab... I think I have notes. I think I was wrong. Bear with me.
Oh, God, that was fun. Whew. Well, what do I do while you're running away? I'll just sit here. Do 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 do.
Write down.
I'm not cutting anything out because I can't be bothered editing.
How good was that? I ran across the room.
Swift.
Go for it.
Very swift.
What were we talking about?
That actually brings up a good point because you've done something that's similar to... I came tonight and said, Nick, I didn't write any notes.
Yeah.
And your response was, oh, shit, I didn't write any notes either.
Exactly.
Isn't it funny, though, that we both chose it for this film?
Yeah. And this is a first that we've ever not written notes.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes one of us will write notes, extensive, and one of us will go, oh, don't worry about it. I've got enough notes for both of us.
Well, it wasn't even that I had enough. It's just that for some reason... Watching a Tarantino film, I never want to have anything that distracts me.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah.
I just find that...
I want to enjoy it because it was a while since I've seen Django. So I wanted to just sit back and let it flow. And it was funny, looking at my rating of it the first time, I gave it a 9.
Right.
I was like, whoa, that is a little high. And I dropped it down. I dropped it down a few. I was like, no.
I was tempted to go 4.5 and a 9.
Yeah.
But I settled on 4 and an 8 just because... there was the space involved with these other films because I think I've got Inglourious Bastards up at a 9.
Yep.
I know I've got the Kill Bill. I think I've got Kill Bill 2 at a 10. I think I've got Kill Bill 1 at an 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to kind of keep consistent with him. And it's not that I have to rate every time one of his new movies come out that I instantly go and rate it against the other ones.
No.
It's just
you feel like what you do at the time, and then you rate it accordingly.
Yeah. He's such a he's such a singular director that when you can take his films, like you can pick them up, put them to the side, and they can be their own thing.
Yeah.
Like you can catalog them in any way you want because 100%. They are it's separate from every other movie. And it's amazing that he's been able to achieve that, I think.
Yeah.
He's 100%. So good.
He is. What are the things that I like that we're just talking about him and the movies.
Yeah.
We're not going to go, we'll start today. We'll go into detail.
We'll relate them specifically to Django at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. What is it that is there anything that you don't like about what Tarantino does? Because there's only one thing that I'm not a huge fan of that he does.
What's that?
And that's put himself in the movie.
Yeah, I don't need him in his movies.
Like, there are, like, don't get me wrong, when he's in, not that it's his movie, but him acting when he's in From Dusk to Dawn, I think he does a great job.
He's fine, yeah.
I think he does a great job. Him in Death Proof, or maybe not Death Proof, because Death Proof was a complete homage to those type of films. He was the bartender and he just threw out some lines. I was like, why are you even in there, man?
Yeah.
Like, don't kind of, you're breaking the fourth wall for me kind of thing.
It has that type of feeling. Because he's so, it's not like certain other directors when they cameo in their own films because they might be unrecognizable to the average cinema goer.
Yeah, 100%.
And it would only be, real fans who would go, oh, that's the director. It's a bit M. Night Shyamalan, really, because we all know when we see him, and it's like, oh, here he is. Fucking hell.
I like him.
No, I like him too, but unfortunately, he's a worse actor than Tarantino.
He's not great. Yeah, he's not great at all. And that's the thing. Like, it kind of pulls you out of it.
Yeah.
So him in Django, I was like, oh, yep, here we go.
Yeah, and look,
come on, man. Like, he's trying on an Australian accent, and I'm like, oh,
he does okay, surprisingly.
Yeah.
It's funny because John Jarratt, who is Australian, sounds like he's doing a bad Australian accent.
He does, doesn't he? Like, are you putting that on?
I think, yeah. Is he trying to be worse in an Australian accent so Tarantino doesn't feel as bad or something?
Yeah. Like, are you trying to overdo it? Like, obviously he's had the direction of, can you be more Australian?
He's selling it to the fucking cheap seats, John Jarratt.
Good Lord.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, look, if I had to pick something in Tarantino films that frustrates me a little bit, it's the detours away from the focus. So every now and then it takes him a little while, and it's in that scene for me.
Yeah.
He goes on a bit of a detour,
and
it takes him a little while to find his focus again.
Yeah, that's true.
Just in terms of...
because you don't need that scene.
Well, I wonder what this movie would be like if we just skipped that scene.
Yeah.
If, like, for instance, if the movie ended as a continuation of the Candyland Massacre, would we have any different kind of movie?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The only thing I can think of is that scene shows us how far Django has come in the fact that he's able to
use his brain and
talk his way out of what he's learnt from Schultz.
Yeah.
And look, that's great. Yeah. And that's fine. But for me, it's not entirely necessary.
Yeah.
Having said that, it's not like I don't like the scene. It's not like I'm sitting there going, when the fuck is this thing going to end?
100%.
It's just something that it's like, okay, so this movie's nearly 3 hours. It's a fucking slog.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like,
100%.
It's grab a comfy chair and make sure you got a pillow behind your back because you're going to be there a while.
Yeah.
And maybe it's unnecessary. But having said that, I don't care that it's in there. It's fine. It just feels like a detour in focus.
Yeah.
A little bit, a smidge.
Yeah,
and
he does do that quite a bit now that I'm thinking about it. He does it with other movies as well.
And I think that's why I didn't like Death Proof so much, because I believe that the focus, the detour is long, almost half the movie. Yeah. And I'm not interested in that.
Okay.
For me, it's kind of like, well, I'm not gaining anything from this detour. And he does it in a lot of his films. And sometimes it's character building. Sometimes it's really interesting to see the characters play in that environment. And other times it's less so.
Sure.
But yeah, that's probably it.
Okay.
What do you think Tarantino does best?
Oh, that's a bit hard. I'm going to say because I know that he's right, it's his use of dialogue.
Sure.
I'm going to say that because it's
a pretty popular answer.
Quippy. Like, it is, when you listen to, if you were to play that movie with your eyes shut, you would know it's a Tarantino film. He has a way with language, and that's what he does and likes.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree.
Yeah.
His dialogue is 100% distinguishable.
Yeah.
And it has a certain flair to it that makes everything feel like, it feels like our kind of contemporary Shakespeare kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not traditional language. It's not like we're sitting there. It's not like people on the street talk like that. But it has such a rhythm and a like slickness, and the way that he formulates a sentence. It's almost like delicious. I use the word delicious here because that's perfect description for it.
Yeah.
It's like, that was
really good.
That sentence was
better. Exactly.
It was tasty.
Yeah.
But it's not how we talk, and so that's I guess it's kind of similar to what Shakespeare was doing.
Yeah.
So
back
in the day,
it's the dialogue that kind of gets me. Like that's what you're in for, and you're getting moments of really, like you said, juicy dialogue in these scenes that kind of up the ante, if anything. So it gets a little heated, and the dialogue is no one's moving. There's no action. No one's moving on this. They're literally just talking to each other, but you're feeling this kind of heat or tension or something's happening in these scenes, and it's literally just from this dialogue, which is so good.
Yeah, 100%. And I think my favorite thing is probably an extension of that, but it's his ability to create tension.
Sure.
I think he's the master of it.
Yeah.
I think he can sit 4 people in a room, and despite what they're saying, we can feel what is underlying everything.
Yeah.
And we feel it without any question. And that's a skill.
Yeah.
Worse directors, we'd be sitting there and we'd be wondering why certain conversations are taking place. Whereas Tarantino makes it abundantly clear that every conversation that takes place when tension is involved means something. And we have to hang on every word because we know that it is telling us about everyone's motivations.
And if you miss something, you're going to miss it.
Exactly, exactly.
Do you think he does that as well with creating tension with camera movement and things like that? There's little nuances that you see here and there that are also creating that tension as well, do you think?
Yeah, I think, the way he moves the camera is always impressive.
Yeah, I love his. Do you know what shot I love that Tarantino does a lot? It's always in his establishing shots. He'll have it, and then he'll have it really fucking far away, and he'll just zoom in.
The fast zoom in is.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
so
and what used incredibly well in this for the reveal of Candy.
Yeah,
it's a great moment, and he does that a lot. I love it. Yeah. I'd say that's probably the most distinguishable Tarantino shot.
A staple. Yeah.
But other than that, what I find really funny is while I was watching this, is I was thinking, what is it about Tarantino as a visual director? Because I think we'd describe him as that.
Yeah, sure.
What is it about him that is so distinctive?
Because he's not the norm. He's not. That's kind of.
But it's like there isn't really many things that you can put your finger on. I think that is probably. His use of color, I think, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, sure.
But aside from maybe I'm contradicting myself, because a lot of shots are just fucking gorgeous in this movie.
Yeah.
And he does...
coming up on the plantation, that first shot when they're all riding, or even just anything of Jamie Foxx in that blue suit.
It's just the way that contrasts with everything around him is so great. So maybe it's not so much that maybe he's just so good that we're not alerted to it. We're not distracted by it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. So
that's a good point. So a lot of people say that how a score works, if a score works well, if a score works perfectly, this wouldn't happen for you because you're so score-based.
No, I agree with this 100%.
But if you don't hear it and you are affected emotionally by the movie, then the score has done its job.
Yeah, and the score only makes itself apparent to you in times when it chooses to.
Exactly.
If you are distracted by it or you don't remember a thing about it, they're both bad scores.
Yeah, exactly.
If you only remember the bits at the exact times you were meant to, that's usually the sign of a very good score.
Yeah. So I think visually, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's it. I mean, there's typical moments that I think we all kind of have. It's the reveal of Candy.
Yeah.
It's the blood splatter across the cotton field.
Yeah.
Which is a stunning shot and quite iconic
good.
now.
Yeah. It's the blue suit, everything with it's him contrasting. In the time, black man riding a horse where every other person is picking cotton. Do you know what I mean? In that vast context. Like it's so contradictory of what's happening. It just looks so good, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we have, I suppose the other kind of staple as well is whether or not this is something that has come recently, but it is the long scene that you are literally on the edge of your seat for.
Oh, you're talking
it's
about
like Hitchcockian in the way that we have certain information.
Yep.
And we are waiting for it to be revealed.
Sure.
And it's...
You're talking about the handshake? Or are you talking about
basically the dinner scene.
Oh, the dinner scene.
Which I think is probably one of the great half an hours that Tarantino's ever filmed in his career.
It's very good.
It's just there. It's in 2 rooms.
Yep.
It's characters interacting. It is the upper hand continuously gets passed around.
Yep.
We're aware of certain information when Stephen becomes aware of it, we just see so much happen without it ever being spoken about directly.
Yeah.
That it's just so good. And it's on par with the opening scene of Inglourious Basterds for me, I think, which is probably one of his strongest sequences.
But no, do you think is it that scene or is it this scene? I'm holding up 3 fingers.
Oh, in the bar.
Like that's
it's a great
really
scene. That's actually
scene.
probably more. That's probably got more in common with the dinner table scene from Django. Yeah. But as far as
so funny how not a lot of people knew what happened. Like some people didn't know what happened. Like why? I don't understand why he shot him because it wasn't. He didn't spell it out. It wasn't like there was a scene where someone said Americans do this and Germans do this. I'm showing 3 in different fingers.
Oh yeah.
That scene did not exist.
No.
So it's quite bizarre. But I fucking love that scene. That's a great scene.
It's pretty amazing. Well, because we have no notes, we could
start with characters.
We could, yes. I think we know that Tarantino draws unbelievably detailed characters.
Yeah. Even minor ones.
Even his minor characters are always...
Jonah Hill had a lot to him. Even in that couple of scenes. Like, he had said 2 things.
Don Johnson. Is incredible.
How good was Don Johnson?
Yeah,
Jesus.
really great. Like Kerry Washington, she's not in it a ton, but she's a really memorable character by the end of it.
Yeah.
The 2 different characters that James Remar plays.
Yeah. And then you get to like the pinnacle, which is Christoph Waltz, and you're seeing him, which is so like when I remember because everyone had seen Inglourious and everyone that was like most people's first contact with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
and so seeing him in that and seeing how good he was in that, we were promised you're going to see Christoph Waltz in another Tarantino film. I was ecstatic. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait!"
Yeah.
You know, and to know that he was one of the protagonists in this, you were like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be great!"
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and it was so good and so rewarding to watch him just have a play.
Yeah. Well, what I think was really nice about his role is that we saw him as the villain in Inglourious Basterds, and we saw a man who are kind of similar in the way he performs them.
Yep.
But one is quite noble, and has a massive heart, and is compassionate, despite the fact, but in a complicated way because he also kills people for a living.
100%.
But you can see that through all his movements, he is respecting of his fellow man, regardless of who they are.
Calms everyone down. He's like, no, just to let you know, very.
But just like I love the sequence where he talks about how, I'm never not. I can't not help you, find your love. That's the kind of guy he is. It's just like, of course I will help you with that. That is a noble quest, and I'm a noble person, so I will be doing that. But really, his acting style isn't greatly different from Inglourious.
Yeah.
But that's the subtlety of what he does, and especially in this viewing, I really liked him a lot more.
Yeah.
I found him just so warm. I still think DiCaprio is the hero
pinnacle
of this film.
Really?
Yeah. He's just... Isn't he just outstanding in this movie? Is it just me? I just can't get over how good he is in this movie.
He is good.
Because...
He is slimy as hell.
But you know what makes it so good?
But
is that you fall for it as well. I watch it and I fall for his charms.
Really?
And then I am reminded by his actions of just how terrible he is, like as a human being. He is the scum of the earth. But I find myself won over by his charms. And that is incredible that he could achieve that with such a fucking scumbag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in awe of what he does in this movie. So good.
This movie is quite... I forgot... So in this watching, the thing that surprised me, because hilariously enough, there were moments of this that I didn't remember at all.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, wow, okay. I totally forgot that happened.
Sure.
So the gentleman in the tree and getting ripped apart by the dogs, I don't remember that. I did not remember that. And talk about tension. Gee, like when Jamie Foxx and Leo just lock eyes while that is happening in the background.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That is intense, man.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably my most unsettling moment in the film. I think that's the bit of violence that I think I most struggle with.
And that's the thing, like, because what you're getting, and I don't think that Tarantino has ever hit this before since then, even with Inglourious, because that was also, that was violence upon people that was a little more realistic. Other times we're seeing an assassin, which is very much make-believe and type of in a fantasy world, whereas what we're talking about here, you've gone from Pulp Fiction, which is sort of in its own fantasy world. You've gone from Jackie Brown, which is blaxploitation. You're going from Kill Bill, which is assassins, and then into Death Proof, which is a homage to 70s and 80s. And then from there, you've gone to Nazis who existed, and then after that, you're going to talk about slavery and the topic of slavery.
Sure.
Which is very hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Or to watch that violence is hard. So his type of violence though is very, it's almost comedic how massive it is. The one that always comes to mind is when Oren Ishii severs that guy's head and it just comes out like a shower, like
yeah, of course.
It's huge and you don't pay any attention to it. It's fucking hysterical the first time you see it.
Yeah.
And the next time you're like, yeah, cop that. Look how badass Oren Ishii is.
Yeah.
And whereas a man getting torn apart by dogs, we don't see when it first happens.
No.
And then we see it.
We see the snippets
through flashbacks.
Yeah.
So that's why it's unsettling, because you're seeing things that maybe have happened. And that's why it's a little bit different for Tarantino.
I get where you're coming from, of course, and I agree. I think even Inglourious Bastards took a stylized approach to that violence. You watch that massacre in the cinema. And it's comedic in its excess. And he does something similar in this with the Candyland massacre. They're all massacres.
It's all blood.
And he does. It's very over the top.
Yeah.
My favorite one, just on a sidetrack, is the say goodbye to what's her name? Marie?
Sister something?
Sister, yeah.
What's her name? We have to find out.
Shoots her, and she's clearly being on some kind of pulley system, and they just yank her back. That stunt woman, top-notch work.
100%. You know it was Zoe Bell.
It was probably Zoe Bell. You're right, yeah. It catches me.
So good.
I think both times that was the moment that got me gave me the giggles the most.
I remember laughing so hard when I first saw that.
It's bonkers, but so wonderful.
Yeah.
But that's the heavily stylized nature of the violence. And you're right, there are moments that are really confronting, like that. The moment with Brunhilde in the
hot box.
Yeah. I find really unsettling, and just the blasé nature of them describing it. Oh, she's in the box. It's like,
and it's got nothing.
It's like, she tried to run away. I mean, what do you want me to do? That's just what happens.
She's in the box, yeah.
And it's like, and it's inconvenient to him. Not
get
because
her out of the box because I need it.
Like, what's the point of having a chick who speaks German if I can't show her off to a German? Get her out of the box.
Exactly. And it would have been so awkward to sit there, and just to listen to this. Like, I guess, like, seriously. But what you're getting then, like, after they're talking about it so blasé in the box, we feel every single inch when they open that box, pour that water on, and she's pulled out of that box.
Oh, yeah,
he's
absolutely.
Just watching his wife, scream.
Well, that's it, because I think when Tarantino wants you to feel the violence, he knows how to turn it on. When he wants you to enjoy it like it's a fantasy, he knows what button to push.
Yeah.
I think the last 20 minutes of this movie is a rollicking good time. Yeah. And considering what's come before that, maybe that's not great that we feel that way. It's a deliberate choice. He has chosen to present it that way, but it's almost to a degree that it catches us off guard.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating this violence when maybe we shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think he's done in a few... I think that's essentially what's happening in Inglourious Bastards as well.
Yeah.
Is that why are we cheering for this
people.
murder and destruction? Yes, it is Nazis dying, but we... the way he kind of he's crossing that with the propaganda films that they're showing and rah. He obviously knows what he's fucking doing. Basically, exactly. That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about?
I have no idea. I got lost.
Do you know who's fucking wild in this movie?
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He's good. That's a hell of a performance,
isn't it?
That's a hell of a performance.
He's so evil. Yeah,
he is evil, isn't he?
But evil in a way that is he's the long con. He's pulled the long con, that guy.
Yep.
He has stuck around and has... I mean, we don't know what he was like as a child.
Yeah, but we've seen him, like
man.
He said, he's he served Candy's dad, and now he'll serve Candy, and he's gone down the line and he's always been at Candyland, and
that's it.
He knows about Candyland's what do they call it?
I don't know.
When someone talks about it.
Reputation.
Reputation, thank you, yeah. So he even talks about that and how bad it is. Oh, jeez, it was so good.
But yeah, the fact that he's so about self-preservation that he will completely forego his own heritage for his own well-being. Safety. Yeah, well-being. Yeah. And it's an amazing character choice, really, because he really becomes... the villain, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, he does.
Towards
More
the end
so
of the film?
than Candy, almost.
Yeah, well, Candy's a weird thing because he's almost not smart enough to be a formidable villain.
He doesn't see, because he wouldn't have gone away with it otherwise.
No.
If it wasn't for, what is Samuel L. Jackson's?
Stephen.
If it wasn't for his character... they would have gotten away with it. It would have been fine.
He was ready to go. He was having the time of his life. He made $12,000 to get rid of one of his third best fighter or whatever it was.
I loved how they talked about that shit.
And then it just happens. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, take the slave. It's fine.
Yeah,
whatever." And it takes Stephen's. Oh, I love that moment where he's just sitting in the chair sipping a
brandy.
Yeah, brandy, and just
how you clearly know that he's almost acting like they're equals. No, I'm doing you a favour. I've been around long enough and I know what's happening. You're about to have the wool pulled over your eyes. You don't know what's going on.
And the fact that, we can have African-American characters that are literally put in a box on the ground naked to burn.
Yep.
And some sitting in couches drinking brandy among the white people shows just the lengths that he's gone to avoid his fate. He has completely abandoned his heritage, and it's so I think that speaks to a certain kind of evil that even Candy and Big Daddy and all those guys maybe can't compete with, because it's just so thick with just self-preservation.
Yeah,
it's amazing, really.
So good.
And tell me this, because I didn't realize this.
Okay.
So he has a cane and a horrible limp.
But then he drops it.
He drops the cane and isn't limping anymore.
Yep.
Do we see any semblance of that before that happens?
No, I'm pretty sure we do.
Because I feel like that happens too late. All right, here is the criticism.
Yeah.
It happens too late.
Yeah.
Because
you're clearly what the fuck? You're just
when he should have done
walking.
it? He should have done it, and I don't know if he does, and correct me if I'm wrong, listeners at home, he should have done it when he was in the farmhouse with him. And he had Django hung upside down.
Did he do it? Do we see... Oh, no, we don't see anything before or after the brandy, do we? Do we?
No. I'm actually starting to think he maybe did do it in that scene with Django hanging upside down.
What was the scene where he picked it up? Because there was a scene where he picked it up.
I can't remember.
It was in the library.
In the library?
Oh. After he cried over Candy, he went back, picked it up.
I suppose he does run straight for Candy. But then, I don't know.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the reveal at the end, and I was like, oh, this would have been better 20 minutes ago. And that was the one thing I was like, because then we'd get to see,
an actual villain.
It's a villain reveal.
You are a villain reveal.
Yeah. It's like a Bond villain reveal.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe...
Oh, that's good.
Maybe we get kind of like old man strong Stephen, who is actually physically can also kind of fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
Maybe lays some punches into Django while he's hanging upside down, and we know that he's actually kind of, he can still hold his own.
Yeah, he knows what's going on.
Yeah. Anyway, one small. What are you going to do? It's still a great moment.
Still an amazing film.
And it's nice that he shoots his kneecaps out as well.
I do like that, yeah.
I do like that. Should we talk about Jamie Foxx? We haven't spoken about Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx is good.
How do you feel about him in this film? Is it a problem that it's taken us this long to talk about the lead character of this film?
No, I don't think so. I think it's he brings it's he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. He kind of just drives the story, but he's not like with Candy or with Schultz. It's very different. Like with those two characters, you're getting a performance. You're getting something that's you're seeing something for the first time. You're like, oh wow, this is really amazing. Not to take anything away from what Jamie Foxx has done, he serves a great purpose in this movie, and he does it well. When he turns it on, I think that the performance starts a bit better because how Schultz says, no, you're going to be playing a Mandingo expert.
Yeah.
So I need you to play that role, and because we're about to see your wife in some fucked up situation, I can't have you break role.
Sure.
So yeah, and he does, and he plays it well. Even like while he's on the horse, on the ride there, when he sees the man getting torn apart, he keeps his character all the way through up until the dinner. And it's so funny. Like I've seen this movie. This is the third time I've watched it. And when I got to the dinner scene, I was like, "Don't break! What are you doing? Don't break!" Like I was still in it.
Yeah,
I was still in it. It was just so good, which is a testament to their acting ability. But it was great.
Yeah, I think he does really nice work. I think it's a unheralded role around so many larger than life performances, which is like what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
That does make it hard, and you end up kind of. That's why I think we forget about him a little bit, and he gets kind of pushed down to the end of the conversation.
Yep.
But I like his progression through the film. I think what starts as a really stoic, underplayed performance ends up quite flamboyant at the end.
Oh yeah,
which I love, and it's like he's come into his own. He's embraced his power, and like there's something really satisfying about the fact that he blows up the ranch wearing Candy's super like elaborate suit and vest combination. Like
burgundy.
It's a hot suit. There's something really satisfying about that he's like fully embracing just how much power he does have.
Yeah.
Considering he starts the film, I guess that's kind of probably intention that he starts the film in like a rag pant and blanket
and shackles,
and that's it, and ends at the best dressed motherfucker in the South. So there's obviously something there.
Yeah.
But it's really, he does some really nice work, I think, considering, like I said, surrounded by people that potentially steal the limelight a little bit in this film.
I think that's what it was. You hit the nail on the head because those other characters and those other performances kind of steal the limelight. He's kind of put to the side, not too much, but still it's there.
Absolutely.
How do you feel? Now you get this on. This is probably the most that we've gotten it. I think, apart from the movie that's just about to hit Australian cinemas. How do you feel about the amount of B-grade actors that you're getting on this screen? Like, you're getting a lot of cameos here. You're getting a lot of cameos.
There are quite a few. I mean, what have we got? MC Gainey.
Yeah.
It's one of the guy that gets shot with... Is that him? MC Gainey? With the Bible quotes, gets shot through the chest.
I don't know.
The one of the Bickle brothers at the start.
The start
at Don Johnson's place.
I don't know his name.
Is it Gainey? MC Gainey?
Here we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, MC Gainey.
Yeah,
how the fuck did you know that?
Oh, he's classic, man. He's
really?
Great. Yeah. James Remar, obviously.
Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern's little bit's fucking terrifying.
Bruce Dern? Yeah,
he's
how
great.
good is that? My favourite fucking Walton Goggins.
Oh, Walton.
I love Walton Goggins,
Love the
man.
Gogs.
Give me any Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Justified all the way.
What did you say? You say James Remar?
James Remar.
Yeah.
There was a few others that I spotted
Johnson.
pop up here and there.
James.
Michael Parks is in there again,
Rosso.
of course.
Yeah, you can't not have Michael Parks, man.
I think overall it's a really strong cast. I think it might be one of his. I mean, his casts are always really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that this movie can stop for 10 minutes to have what is an incredibly hilarious scene about the guys complaining about the sheets that had the eyes cut wrong.
It was such a good scene. Oh, well, you know what? My wife stayed up and made all of these. You know what? Fuck you all. Have a good one. I'm leaving.
It's so strange that scene exists.
Yeah.
But, speaks to Tarantino and what he does.
Yeah.
He finds not only hilariousness in that, but it's very, it's making a statement about that kind of racism.
Yeah.
That completely inherited racism, where these people can it's just part of their daily life. It feels so natural for them to have that hatred.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like,
no one questioning what they're actually about to do.
No. It's the same as
cool. Let's go watch some football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it was ingrained into society in that way that felt so normal.
Yeah.
And he found a way to normalize it. To its most basic level, is a bunch of people arguing about the fact that the eye holes weren't cut right. There was one other scene like that as well. What was the other scene like that?
While you think of that, there was just after I watched it, I was like, because I watched it on Blu-ray, I'm like, are there any makings to this thing? Because Tarantino doesn't do makings. It's very rare making ofs there.
Yeah.
So in watching the one that I did, it was about the stunts with horses, because he wanted it as you get with a Tarantino film, which is what a lot of people would know being a Tarantino fan. He doesn't touch CGI, very rarely touches CGI.
Yeah.
So all of those horses were real horses. So when Schultz explodes his cart, the stuntman was asked, can I get... Tarantino asked him, he goes, how many horses do you want to fall down? Tarantino goes, 8 would be good. 6 if you can.
Yeah.
He got 15 horses to fall down.
Wow.
That is massive. That is huge. And that was just rehearsal. Like that was just rehearsing.
Well, and it has the statement at the end that no horses were harmed in the making of this film.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, they don't mess around with that shit. You can't put that in there.
No.
Like, if a horse fucking stubs a toe, you can't put that in there.
No, exactly.
So
even with the guy, like when Django, which is one of my favorites, which I didn't realize was a homage to a John Wayne film that I've never fucking seen because I haven't seen any John Wayne, is when he pulls off the guy off the horse, like, literally pulls him down and the horse comes with him.
Oh, yeah.
Breaks his collarbone. I'm like, shit, that was hardcore. But that was all horse, and that guy had to be okay with the horse landing on him a little bit, And these guys are a different breed of male. Like they seriously have to take some knocks. Like to be a stuntman alone, man. Seriously, that's some badass work. I'd love to just watch
lots of broken bones for those people. For the sake of our entertainment.
I know, right?
Look, they obviously get a lot of enjoyment out of it too.
Yeah.
they wouldn't do it otherwise.
No, of course not. They love it.
Adrenaline junkies of sorts. But
yeah, it was so good just to watch, like, rehearsal, and action. 15 horses, because he was like, wild. The stuntman, like, he rehearsed 20 horses because he said if Tarantino wants 8, the chances that horses are going to be scared by the explosion, let's aim for 20, and we'll be lucky to get 9.
Great.
So he aimed high, and 15 dropped.
That's
and
wild.
Like, that's decent.
Yeah. Look, all extremely effective. I love the little horse dance that Django does at the end.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Do we? We should mention how the movie itself deals with racism. I think.
Oh, sure.
It's obviously it's a really heavy topic, and this film finds a way to make it equally disturbing yet entertaining at the same time.
Sure.
Not like, isn't racism entertaining? But a film that is so has so much to say about racism and that horrible time in history, which we're still kind of dealing with and living with the repercussions of. To make a movie that is so unbelievably enjoyable, like, it feels like a fun movie. And is that wrong? Is that a bad thing that we're watching this movie which has so much on its mind about this but feels fun?
I don't think so, because he does, like you said before, touch on moments where, it's not a serious film throughout. But you do have those moments where you're siding with Jamie Foxx and he's giving he's getting his revenge. He's giving those that have harmed him comeuppance, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there is nothing more I like better than seeing arseholes
People get their
comeuppance, especially in film. Which is why I'm going to come back to this. Which is why I hate the fucking pea shooter. Anyway, I'll come back to that. But yeah, I think that it's fine that we're having fun with it because it's not a flat out drama. We're not watching 12 Years a Slave.
No.
Does that make sense? So because it's Django Unchained and because he knows that he's Quentin Tarantino, he knows how far he can push the line. He knows when he can break the line. He knows he knows what line not to cross. Sort of thing.
I think the line is in a different place with him. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's managed to do is he's managed to move the line, which is pretty impressive, really, because
this doesn't sit with everyone. When this movie did come out, you are going to get some people of the black community who aren't for this movie.
Well, I mean, it's. I understand exactly where they're coming from. There is something. There's, not that I ever want to discourage this, because, like I've said before, when it's come up on other films, people of any color, race, history can tell stories about anything.
Yeah.
As long as you're telling the right stories and you're telling them correctly.
Exactly.
And
but
so,
it opens the topic to
I can
talk
imagine
about,
people don't like the idea of, upper middle class white dude who worked in a video store for 20 years, making a movie that has such a statement to make about slavery.
Yeah. Because he didn't have lived it, he wouldn't have lived it. He can barely comprehend what would have happened, and and he's having a say on sort of making a film with that topic, kind of backing it. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it's fine that you can. I think it's fine that you can enjoy it, as long as you are seeing the message or getting the message, or you are being opened up to the topic of, racism.
Yeah. Is the message more than just slavery is bad? Like, what if we were trying to compact it down to the sentence?
Yeah.
What is he trying to say about what is he trying to say about slavery? Do you reckon? Aside from it was bad, I
don't know,
because that's kind of, I think, in order to get this movie to be more than just incredible entertainment, I'm trying to find that line, and it's because it does portray it in such different ways. And is it trying to say that is it saying that the dehumanization of these people extends past just them being slaves, but also the way that Django kind of becomes this flamboyant dispenser of violence?
Sure.
Is that part of what we're talking about? Is it that the fact that all the white characters in this film are pretty fucking vapid, dumb idiots?
Yeah.
Especially when we get away from even the people of stature, we literally, some of these characters, we can't understand words coming out of their mouth sometimes. Whereas that's not the case for any of the African American characters in this film. So and there's that conversation about the brain, the way the brain functions with the dimples. Yeah. There's the conversation about Alexander Dumas,
who was black,
and who wrote the incredible stories, and the fact that Candy doesn't even know who he is, and he's portraying this person of intelligence when he's really dumb as dog shit. It's funny because I'm just trying to find the thing. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there are a lot of things in there.
There probably is. I don't know. I just haven't thought about these things, I guess.
You kind of get to that. Yeah, this is the Tarantino thing as well. I'm getting to a point now with Tarantino movies that it can't just be a movie.
No, it can't be.
I've got to keep going. No.
Especially with Hateful Eight. I get that a lot with Hateful Eight. That's not just a movie. You're seeing a lot of different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of similarities in the films that he creates, and the way that violence shapes people, and I think that's always been a really prominent theme of his.
Yeah.
And the power of violence to be more than just an action.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Okay.
Basically.
What else? Talk about the pop songs, the acronym.
Oh, let's actually talk about a little bit of that soundtrack. That's cool
because you do get that a lot, which is it works so well. In a lesser movie, it would cheapen the fuck out of the film. But the fact that you get moments of Django's rebirth, I don't know, maybe, of his character, backed with just amazing gangster rap music that just floods the scene with amazingness. Like it's it's poignant. It's so good.
There's a bit of a dissonance when you hear some of those tunes with what you're seeing.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it only lasts for a second.
Exactly.
It passes really quickly.
But he doesn't hang on to it for too long because you don't need to. But if it was in any other movie, it would feel
disingenuous. Yeah, but it does. It feels really natural. It feels like it belongs in that landscape. And I think that's maybe I think it's got a lot to do with what we associate rap with, which is it's always been a kind of a protest statement, a power statement for African Americans. It's their microphone, it's their loudspeaker, and it has been forever. It's how they
it's their outlet into what has happened to their culture.
Exactly. So much of their culture, so much of what we learnt about their culture we've learnt through rap. So it feels natural to be watching this story about yet another fucking shit thing that happened to these people.
Yeah. But a black man kind of rising out of the ashes of the bullshit and the chains and going on a killing spree of white men. Like
it feels natural to have that accompanied by
100%
heavy rap.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like,
and it was perfect.
A better word?
It was perfect.
Why do I feel like every time I say rap, I'm the whitest man in the world?
Yes, you are.
Oh,
no
rappity, rap.
Some jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince shit.
I just can't talk about rap. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's fine.
I should just never bother.
You're doing very well. Not that I know. I'm just as white as you. If not whiter, because my head is bald.
I also do like of course, the classic kind of spaghetti western tunes and the old folk tunes that come through, and
that old school like Django, that.
It's so good. It's so good. Some of like that 70s kind of disco country that was coming through. I was all about that. That sounded so cool.
That was good.
And I love that when he plays a song on his soundtrack, you can almost hear the record needle scratching against 100%. it. It's so like it just adds this certain amount of authenticity to everything that he's doing.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to feel that kind of nostalgia that he obviously injects into all his films, this throwback to all the old 60s and 70s stuff that he grew up on, especially in a film like this. It's such a great way to achieve that without really having to do too much.
No.
Just that little bit of static that accompanies playing a record. And even if you're looking at the crispest picture in the world, it just feels classic.
Yeah.
And it's so good, isn't it? Yeah, it's so great.
That's why Tarantino, out of all the movies or all the directors who have done multiple movies, I think I've owned all of Tarantino's soundtracks, even Jackie Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've owned all of them at
That's
one
cool.
point.
Yeah, great. It'd be great to,
like Reservoir Dogs got a big play, especially because and that's what, and it's so funny how, like I've spoken about this before, when a song gets played in a film, if I see like that song, if I hear that song in another film, I'm like, no, you can't use this. This is already,
Oh, yeah, yeah. 100%.
So me hearing Ooga Chaka, Ooga, Ooga, Ooga in Guardians, I was like, no, this is a Reservoir Dogs song. You can't use this.
Yeah, right.
Sort of
there you go.
So, so it was a bit different.
Hands off.
Yeah.
I'd like to, as much as he does that very well, probably, on par with like a Scorsese or a Cameron Crowe in terms of how he chooses his soundtracks.
Yeah, Cameron's very deep into his music.
I'd love to hear more score-based.
Oh, from Tarantino?
From Tarantino, yeah. I really liked the Morricone score for Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Morricone has been one of my favourite composers for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And he's known for spaghetti.
Most of, like...
Westerns in general. Yeah. That was him.
So he's written more than you'd realise when you'd hear them and just be like, oh, yeah, I know that tune.
Yeah.
But... yeah, it's what he does in Hateful Eight is just so fucking good, and it won him his first Oscar as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So yes,
what
I
else?
think that's pretty much it. I think I'm done. Yeah,
that was good. I like that. We did well.
I've enjoyed watching it again.
Yeah.
I'm fucking stoked for Once Upon a Time in America.
No.
Hollywood.
Thank you.
Fuck, I do it every time.
That's
Speaking
all right.
of Morricone, he did score for that. What else? I'm going to do some more Tarantino again. It's been a while since I've seen Inglourious Bastards. I'd really like to watch that again. I'll have my second watch of Hateful Eight. I'm with you. I've only seen it that once.
I've only seen it the once. I own it, and I need to watch it again. But I need to. I need to Kill Bill again.
I do Kill Bill pretty regularly, so I think I'll try and do some of the other ones before I get back to that.
Yeah.
And I will definitely. I'm ready to do Jackie Brown. I'm ready to.
Are you ready to punch it out?
Yeah, I think I need to. I feel strange having not seen it. I feel like I'm cheating.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think you are.
Yeah, it's Tarantino. Like, why is there a Tarantino movie I've not seen just sitting there?
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there waiting to be seen. What am I doing?
So is Citizen Kane.
You're right.
And you've got to watch. I saw Hurricane Heist popped up on my streaming.
Oh, actually, you're right. Of course, I've got to watch Hurricane Heist. What am I doing with myself?
No, you don't. Oh, God. No one needs to see Hurricane Heist. My nose has gone blocked, by the way. Can you hear that?
Is that because of our delicious drink, perhaps?
No, got nothing to do with that. Jesus.
Okay. I don't know. You might be having, when sometimes you drink certain things and you get a blocked nose. Am I the only person?
Yeah, I think you're the only person that does that.
Sure. Jesus.
Yeah?
Go see a doctor, Tyson.
I'm kidding.
Shall we move on, Nicholas?
97. Let's move on.
All right. I think we should do our next segment.
Can't even... Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, you can stream Jackie Brown on Stand. I was just checking.
Thanks, man.
Next segment, which is...
What did you watch this week?
I like it.
Do you want to go first, Nicholas?
I can definitely do that.
Did I only watch the one thing? I don't have my phone on.
I've decided to have a little break from video games, and I'm going to knock out some watches.
Okay.
Well, because I haven't watched Game of Thrones, and everyone at work's like... Nick, have you seen season 8 yet? And I'm like, I got other fish to fry, mate.
Live your life.
I've got other fish to fry.
I watched. You know what I ended up doing?
And I heard, by the way, I'm not missing out on much.
No, I just watched two. Basically, they were about 40 minutes each, summaries of the season with critical analysis and stuff. Yeah. And I got everything I needed. I honestly,
done.
I felt like I was like, yeah, that's all I need.
Oh, no, I got to a point watch it.
I got to a point with Game of Thrones where I did not need to watch the show. I needed the plot.
Whoa.
And that's all I needed.
This is the most expensive TV show that they've ever done, and you're not going to watch the visuals? The visuals. You hear what I said?
Yeah, I saw clips and stuff. I got the gist of it.
You saw clips? What, on your phone?
No. So I just watched YouTube analysis and stuff. And so what I found more interesting was the way that people were deconstructing the story and how it kind of got to a point where everyone was kind of like, yeah, this is fucked, guys. And I found that more entertaining because I was kind of like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't actually sit and watch that because I would be feeling the same way.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so you're fine. I think you're fine.
Jesus.
Live your life.
All right, live your life.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
So what are you going to watch? Or what have you watched?
6. I've watched 6 things. Jesus, did we have a break last week?
No, man, you've had a big week.
Shit, look at me go. All right, shit. Well, I'm going to talk about. Let me talk about 3.
All right, go now.
2 of them will be really quick, though.
Okay, sure.
Number 1, 2017's Baby Driver.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Did I talk about this last week?
No, you didn't.
I talked about Booksmart.
Still haven't seen Baby Driver myself.
Yeah, and to be honest, Tyson, maybe give it a bit of a miss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You might be one of the only people to say that.
I know! Why does everyone like... What did I miss out on? Baby Driver did not do it for me, man. Like, seriously.
It's really interesting.
It was very, very boring.
Boring? That's not the word I would want to hear about.
It was boring. Like, even with the action sequences that are in it, I was like, what's going on? What am I... And the protagonist is just he was a poncy little... I want to punch him hard.
Punchable face, that guy. Totally punchable face. What's his name?
Who cares?
Because he's about to be in the West Side Story remake.
Oh, that's right. Ansel Elgort.
That's
is that his name?
Yeah, Ansel. And he was in something else that I didn't mind him in, actually. He was in something that he was really good in. What did I like him in?
Like, even with, I wanted something funny. I was looking forward to it. It was Edgar Wright. I was looking... Look, I gave it 2.5 stars.
Why?
2.5? 2.5. Yeah, exactly. So that's a 5.
5 out of 10.
So...
half a movie.
Exactly. It was. I got nothing out of it. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care what was going on. The storyline was a bit basic. I was just like, yeah, look, you're not blowing my skirt up, to be honest. So it's a pass for me.
Fair enough.
The one thing I did like was their use of the tracks of music that they were playing.
Sure.
So because he listens to music, they did that element quite well.
Okay, sure.
That's it. That's all
great.
I liked. Even the action sequences, like there wasn't something that I could hold on to, like how badass was that?
Yeah,
no,
right.
Pass.
Interesting.
Yeah. Baby Driver, pass. I waited so long to watch it
Yeah,
too.
and look, I feel like I've waited too long because I'm just not going to watch anything with Kevin Spacey in it anymore, I don't think, either.
Oh, come on. There are other people in the movie.
I know, but it's so hard to sit there and go, okay, I'm just, like, what do you do? Do you just
not watch it?
I don't know, because now it's, all right. It's the same thing, man. I'm having this real existential crisis with any time a Michael Jackson song comes on the radio.
Oh, don't give me that. That's a you will open a can.
But this is what I mean. This is the state that we're in. It's really, it's man, it's hard to make those choices sometimes.
I hate it.
It is?
Michael Jackson, Kevin Spacey, I understand. Michael Jackson, that's a different fucking story.
All right.
Okay, next one, very quick. I watched Shazam, Tyson. Shazam.
Yeah, right.
You know that DC,
yes,
those DC movies that everyone keeps avoiding?
Yes.
Yeah. The same, 2.5 stars.
So right, so so a lot of people said Shazam was a step in the right direction for DC, but
look, it was a better step.
Okay.
Look, it was a lot lighter. Was there? It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But what's his name? Zach Levy? Is it just Zach Levy? If he wasn't in it, the movie would be shit.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought it was really good, and I love Mark Strong, man. Mark Strong is my guy, and he was good, but it was okay. To be honest, what it felt like was a movie aimed at 9, 10, 11-year-olds.
Okay.
There was nothing in this, like, you know how we get movies now that if a movie like that comes out, like Inside Out, or even any Pixar movie, you're going to get things that they've put in for kids and things that they've put in for adults that kids will laugh at, but it means something different for adults. There was none of that in this movie. This movie was literally for children. Like, I was like, oh, that was a bit fun. You know, even with the because it's quite a little bit of a it's not a dark story, but it's not any normal story. It's a story of a kid who's an orphan who keeps running away, and he's not gelling with his foster family.
Right.
So you're getting kind of him not really liking them, and the flashing back to him finding his mum, and then he does find his mum, and that just goes completely south. Like, spoilers for Shazam.
Right.
It's not going to spoil anything, because that was actually maybe one of the most dramatic moments of the movie, which it landed. It was great.
Okay.
But still, at the end of that, I was like, yeah, it was all right.
Fair enough.
You know, it still didn't blow up my skirt.
Okay. Nothing's blown up your skirt.
Nothing blew up my skirt. So literally, because that happened, this is literally a reaction. I watched.
You put on pants?
No. No, I kept the skirt on. I took my underwear off, so I was freeballing underneath my skirt.
Prepared
exactly
to be blown up.
Exactly. And then I put on J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, and then Star Trek Into Darkness.
Oh wow!
I watched them
double feature,
back to back.
No Beyond.
No Beyond. I didn't have time. And it wasn't JJ.
Just wanted a bit of Abrams in your life.
I just wanted a bit of Abrams, because I know that he lands it, and he lands it well. And god damn, those are good movies, man. Like,
yeah, I
Into
like
Darkness for me, that's a 9.
See, I like Into Darkness a lot too, and I think we're in the minority. I think people consider Into Darkness a big letdown compared to the first one.
Letdown? Oh,
I know why. I've read so many things from people saying why.
Okay.
But
but hang on a minute. Are they talking about Star Trek lore? Is that what the change is? Because I know that JJ's storyline, or his multiverse, if you will, kind of fucks with Trekkies a bit.
Yeah.
You know. But you know,
there's obviously a turn in that film that I found kind of fascinating, that they would have the almost the gumption to actually do it, which I found kind of interesting. I know a lot of people did not agree with that, but having said that, I still think it's a great movie. I think I like the first one a little bit more. I think I like the third one a little bit more than that as well. So but they're all great.
They're so good. They're so good, so entertaining. You've got drama in there, you've got interactions, you've got tension heating up between other characters, because we know them now and we know them so well. Like this, it's so good what happens. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, they're kind of underrated too. Those movies.
That
I know it sounds
with
weird.
The action that's happening, like the chase where Spock literally yells out his name and just runs after him. I'm like, this is fucking badass.
Yeah.
This is so good. And you feel every single punch. Oh, it's good.
No,
it was so good. It was exhausting.
Good watch, man. They're good choices.
There you go.
That's nice.
That's what I watched.
All right.
Yeah. What did you watch, Tom?
I'm just going to do one.
Do the one.
Rewatched Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
just
that's
for
not
shits
a
and
light
giggles.
watch. That's an awesome watch.
Wanted to watch a horror movie.
That's such a good movie.
That was the first one that came up, and I was like, well, yeah.
Fuck yes.
Why not?
Do
just couldn't be. It was like sometimes when you think, yeah, I know it's a really great movie, but I want to find maybe something I haven't watched before, or I'll keep searching for a little bit longer, and if I can't find anything, I'll come back to that. It was literally 2 scrolls. Oh no, play. Yeah, it was just like, no, that's exactly what I want to watch right now.
Yeah,
and it still holds up incredibly well. I find that movie so. There is so much to talk about in that movie, and I can't wait till the episode when we do actually discuss it. Maybe that'll be a good one for Spookazodes this year.
That's true. That would be good
because it just not only is it just chock full with references and like paying homage to everything that has come before it. I think what it actually has to say about movie making and the process of how we consume horror movies is like fascinating, just utterly fascinating.
Yeah.
There's so much meat in that. The role of the audience in horror movies, and I think it's fantastic.
So many layers.
And I could just watch every time I watch it. I notice different things.
100%.
And little moments of dialogue that just pass by that you catch and go, oh, that's. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, and it's so good. And
that last section where all the monsters just fucking tear it up.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of another movie that, takes violence to extreme fun levels despite the heavy kind of repercussions of it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so much fun to watch that.
And that is a movie that the ending... Perfect.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. Don't mess with it. Perfect.
I would end it a few frames early.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I need that.
You don't need that?
It's kind of fun.
It's fine.
I don't think
it's dark enough to not affect you too much.
Yeah. You just kind of come away at the end and go, oh, okay. Yeah. That's what they were. Where it's almost better not to know.
It was so good that ending, man.
It's the two of them sitting there, like clearly about to die.
Yeah,
getting baked,
sharing a spliff,
just going.
It's like, wow, fuck.
Here we are.
Do you remember we saw a werewolf before?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I love Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins.
Bradley Whitford, man, seriously. Yeah, I think I'm about to do my second watch of The West Wing for the first time.
Nice one.
Yeah, and I need to, because my wife hasn't watched it.
Oh, it's time. Yeah. I also want to insert tequila is my lady into my daily vocabulary somehow. But yeah, it's as good as you remember. Go back, watch it again.
As well,
so
really funny.
Like uproariously funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
And it's great for like Joss Whedon fans and Drew Goddard fans because there's lots of familiar faces, lots of Buffy and Angel alumni popping up in small roles. So it's nice. It's fun. It's a lot of fun for that reason as well.
I like it. Lovely.
Should we do?
We
haven't done Crossing the Streams forever.
We haven't. And shall we do a Tarantino crossing?
Recommend no, because there's only like 9 movies to choose from.
Yeah, man.
Why don't we just tell the people on your phone?
Oh, sure.
Which
ones you can stream?
Where to find some Tarantino movies.
All right.
I think if you on Just Watch, if you actually search Tarantino,
let's see what happens.
It'll tell you where to find them all. So we're doing everyone a service now. You can go back and if you want to do your binge watch before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this is how to do it.
Okay. So starting off, well, let's start off with the one that we just did, Django Unchained. Django Unchained. You can stream it on Prime.
Amazon Prime,
which is so good. Did you watch it on Amazon Prime?
I did.
Did you?
It looked fantastic.
Oh, Jesus. I will say though, so Jackie Brown. You can still watch it. Jackie Brown, which I mentioned before.
On Stanley. Great.
Yeah, Stan, and if you own Foxtel. It's a bit backwards, but that's okay. Inglourious, you're looking at Netflix.
Great. Inglourious Bastards on Netflix.
I love how Inglourious, but just a side note, I love how Inglourious Bastards, when it gets like a blurb, it tells the bit about Brad Pitt and his gang going to do that, which is it's barely any bit of the film.
Yeah, it's
like
probably...
I remember my brother rang me up and said, hi, hey, I went to see Inglourious Bastards, and it was nothing what I wanted.
I'd about to say, if you had to pick a main character, I'd suppose it would be Melanie Laurent.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
Exactly. It's not anyone else.
Or Christoph Waltz.
Hateful Eight, you are actually paying for still.
Oh,
which
not
is
streaming anywhere.
Not streaming anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Which you can do anyway. Reservoir Dogs, you're looking at Netflix.
Netflix for Reservoir Dogs,
Yeah.
very good.
Kill Bill, which I'm guessing 1 and 2 are both on Stan.
Kill Bill 1 and 2 are on Stan, very good.
Pulp Fiction, oh, here we go. What do you say, Tys? Also on Stan and Foxtel.
Ah, great.
There
Pulp
we go.
Fiction on Stan and Foxtel.
Am I missing one?
Or you can borrow my DVD.
Or you can borrow Tys's DVD if you know where Tys lives. And Death Proof, as much to my friend Tyson, he's not a big fan, but Death Proof, you're looking to buy it as well.
Oh.
So Death Proof you can't stream
No,
either.
streaming Death Proof. Well, that's not... Is that everything?
That's everything.
Okay, well, I suppose it's not too
that's
bad.
everything that's on here. What did I miss? No, Blackie Brown I go. No. Yeah, I got everything. Yeah, cool.
So that's not bad. 2 of them you won't be able to watch, but...
No, 3 of them. Oh, no, 2 of them, yeah. So Inglourious and...
No, Inglourious was Netflix. Death Proof and...
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's our Crossing the Streams for this week.
Crossing
we didn't
the
sing the
Streams.
songs. We were just... Crossing the Streams!
I like it.
As if we're not going to do it and we're not going to sing the fucking theme song. We haven't done it for 3 weeks. What
Exactly.
are we doing?
People are pissed. Tyson, next week, my friend.
Next week, Nick.
We know what we're doing. And we are going to...
Yeah, because it's the return of... We're smashing them out. We had a buy request last week.
Yep.
Check our episode on Top Gun from last week.
Yep.
Next week,
we're
doing another buy request.
I like it.
I will read the email next week because
sure.
I don't have my phone on me.
That's okay. But it's one of your favourites, Tyson.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Did you see this at the cinema? I saw this at the cinema for a birthday party his name was Ben Mulholland.
Hey, what's up, Ben?
Hey, what's up, Ben? Ben Mulholland, I think it was his, 12th birthday. When did this come out?
You'd be looking more at 8th or 9th.
8th or 9th
Yeah.
birthday. Shit. Yeah, okay. So 8th or 9th birthday party, and we went to see...
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh.
I love this movie, Nicholas.
Oh.
I know that it has its problems.
It does.
I love it.
So do I.
And I cannot wait to talk about it. This is one that we have discussed multiple times, and we have delayed it. We've delayed it. It's time.
It's time.
As we said, that's what this episode's 100. Post 100, it's all killer, no filler.
Exactly. It's K-Cost in the 90s with nothing but Bryan Adams in your ears.
So much Bryan Adams. So much K-Cost. Oh, I can't wait.
And a Sean Connery that we might not mention.
Yeah. He does all right. He just pops up for
good.
a second. Let him have his moment.
Exactly.
Yes. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves next week. It's going to be a really fun chat.
That's right.
Very excited. That's another buy request. We can't wait to answer our fans.
Yes. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to our podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you would like to do a buy request, if you would like me and Tyson to talk about a film, all you have to do is write in. He does only take emails.
Only on the emails.
So Nick Tyson Videotape at gmail.com. I spell Nick NIC and Tyson's TYS. Other than that, please review,
stream
share.
us.
I was going to say share. Stream us if you can. I dare you. On all the podcast apps. Other than that, we are on all the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and download the Letterboxd app if you want to find out what else we're watching.
And that's it. Follow us on Letterboxd so we can have a little chatsies together.
I like it.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's how we do it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Django. I was literally walking around afterwards doing it. I was making like a Django.
It's a cool song.
You know.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Nick.
Tyson.
Bye, man.
Bye, man.
Django, Django, have you always been alone? Django, Django.